A cable that supports a suspension bridge is parabolic. So you know that there's an equation for this in this form. The horizontal distance between the ends of the cable is 140 meters. The midpoint of the cable, where the vertex is, right here, is 14 meters below each end of the cable. We have to make an equation that models this. So the first thing we have to decide is, where do we want to put our x-axis and our y-axis? And we have choice here. There's more than one right answer for this. Where do you want your vertex? Do you want your vertex to be right at 0, 0? Okay. If you want it to be right at 0, 0, then draw your x-axis here and your y-axis there, and you have your vertex at 0, 0. So then you would know that P and Q are both 0 and 0. What do we need to find to finish our equation? The value of A. In order, so we know this so far. We know that it's A, x minus 0, which you wouldn't have to write the 0, plus 0, which you wouldn't have to write that 0 either. In other words, the equation for this one is just y equals ax squared, but we need a value for A. In order to find that value of A, we need to know another point. Is there enough information here for me to label this point right there? What would the y-coordinate of that point be? 14. Right? Yes? And 70. How did you get 70? Half of 140, because if it's 140 the whole distance away, that point would be 70, 14. What does that mean for our equation to figure out A? We're going to plug in 14 for y, 70 for x. 70 squared is 4,900A. How would you solve for A? Divide both sides by 4,900. If I type that into my calculator, 14 divided by 4,900 is 0.00286. So my final equation, you could write it with a decimal, 0.00286 x squared, or you could write it with the fraction, which I actually like better. Hey, did you know that it's 14 over 4,900. Did you know that your calculator can reduce fractions? If you write 14 over 4,900 and get a decimal, then push your math button, and number 1 changes it back to a fraction, it will change it back to a fraction and put it in lowest terms. 1 out of 350. I like this equation. Looks a lot neater than the decimal, but both of them are correct. So you just had to pick where you wanted the vertex. If you look at the answers at the bottom of the page, they did a bunch of different ones depending if you put your x-axis there or if you moved it up there, just which option you chose. I like putting the vertex at 0, 0. It made things really easy. Okay, questions for practice on this one? Just number 11.